listening in. In this video series, you'll hear stories from thriving young adults who happen to have hearing loss. They'll share what it was like growing up deaf and how they learned to listen, talk, and reach their dreams. Meet Jentry, a determined young woman. She's learned to overcome challenges and advocate for herself. She lives every day by her motto that you can't spell Jentry without the word try. Let's listen in.
Oh my goodness, you got here. It's
did.
Great to see you, Miss Jentry. I'm excited that you're here. Yeah. Hey, Kris.
Good
Welcome.
to see you, and thanks for having us.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm excited that you're here and we get to catch up. So tell me what you're doing today. What's going on in your life?
Well, I started a new career a couple of years ago. I work at Simple Modern, a company here in Oklahoma, and I work as a logistics analyst.
Okay, now what does that mean and what do you do on a daily basis?
Well, I would love to say that it's cool as it sounds, but it involves a lot of spreadsheets.
Okay.
In problem solving and routing. We deal with a lot on the shipping side of things.
So you have to figure out how to get product to the places it needs to go.
Correct.
That gets kind of stressful at times, doesn't it?
It can be, but I love a challenge.
Good for you.
Yes.
So how did you get that job? Tell me about making that switch.
Yeah, well, a friend of a friend knew that I lost my job probably around May of 2020. So she did the introductory email, as one would do, and they reached out to me via phone because Zoom wasn't really available at the time yet. Mm-hmm. It was nerve-wracking because one is over the phone, and when you have a hearing loss, it's not easy.
Right. It's not the most ideal thing, right?
No.
Yeah.
So I was definitely nervous, and because you just don't know who's on the other end. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when do you tell them that you're hearing impaired? Because I don't think my friend mentioned it. And then after a while, because he started talking a little too fast, and I had to ask him, "Sir, can you please slow down? I am hearing impaired, and we are on the phone, so it's a little difficult for me," but he was totally cool with it. And
was that hard for you to say?
No. Yes and no. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But I always have to figure out when's the best time to say it.
I see. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you handled it the great time. He didn't miss a beat.
I did.
He slowed down.
Yes. And 2 more phone interviews with them.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And one was a conference call, which was even worse.
Oh, did they have you on like you were on
Yes.
speakerphone and having to listen to all the speakers in the room?
Yes.
Oh, that's very tough listening.
Very tough. But
wow.
I got through it, and they are all my bosses.
Well, congratulations. That's great.
She was very helpful.
Yeah. So that's kind of that's a different role, Kris, isn't it?
It is, and it's an honor, as you know. It's to watch all those years of preparation for a moment like that.
Yeah.
And I think I sure do remember how talking over the phone was the issue in our home.
Was it?
Yes, definitely, because we typically would order a pizza on Sunday nights from Domino's, and it was the call-in.
Yes.
And when it became time for Jentry to start making the phone calls, she refused. And so we didn't have pizza for a while. And
tough love, huh?
the telephone deal was an issue.
That was a big deal.
It was an issue. That and Sonic, ordering from Sonic, and just the things in life that you really need to kind of master to feel independent and capable. And so having 3 interviews over 3 weeks was just a real full circle for us.
Yeah, that has to be real forward thinking on your part.
I think from the very beginning, that was the goal. When she was diagnosed at 18 months, and I think I projected immediately all the way. And it was so hard to think about her future, not knowing what it would look like, that it just becomes that big part of you to make sure that what is going to happen is going to be the best for her.
Right.
And setting that stage.
Yeah.
Over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Can you talk to me about those early days when you first found out that Jentry had a hearing loss?
I was in denial. I demanded another ABR. And I honestly, I went to bed for 3 days. And I cried and I cried. And I didn't have any next step.
Yeah.
But 3 days is what I gave myself.
And you said, we're pulling up our books. We got to do this.
Start somewhere.
Yeah.
And went to the library, and there was on the bulletin board, there was a School for the Deaf sign language class. And I thought, oh my gosh. So I remember sitting in a circle with both sets of grandparents and Jentry's brother, Adam, and thinking how surreal it was that everything had just shifted. And it was still foggy and kind of sad.
Yeah.
And here we were in this little library in a circle, and we're going to learn sign language. And then the teachers that taught the class, teachers of the deaf, from the School for the Deaf, after the class was over, they walked toward me, because I'd had Jentry on my lap the whole time, and said, we'll take good care of her. And that's when it clicked. I thought, oh, no you won't, I will.
Yeah.
And no one's taking my child.
Yeah.
That's when we just tried a new path, and then you come along.
Well, our paths crossed right at the
Our
right
paths
time.
did cross at the right time.
But it's you that did all the hard work,
You
Kris.
say that, but I give it back to you too,
Well,
man.
but-
It's been, there's just something about when you really, really, really need somebody to help you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it's been my humble privilege to share this journey with you guys. So how old were you when you got your implant?
I got my cochlear implant, the first one, when I was 15 years old.
Okay.
And then my second one when I was 21 years old.
Yeah. Do you remember being activated?
Yes.
Talk to me about what activation was like with your implant.
Well, because the first cochlear implant, I was implanted with my bad ear, meaning I never heard a single sound out of that for my entire life, 15 years. And I remember when they turned it on, because first, when you're activated, you're hooked up to a computer, and so you're hearing only beeping sounds. And when they turn it on is when you hear normal. And the funny thing is, as soon as they turned it on, nobody spoke a word. And I think we were all just watching me, and everybody was just holding their breath at that moment.
All right, so then fast forward a little bit, you're 21.
Yes.
And what happens? You get a second implant?
Yes. It's just getting really hard to understand speech, and I was getting more exhausted again. And it's so much better.
It's so much better? Yeah. That's pretty cool, Jentry.
Yeah.
Have you had to have situations where you've advocated for yourself?
Oh, a million times.
Can you give me some examples?
Gosh. Usually at school. It was mostly at school, and then in everyday life, they just didn't understand why I wasn't really communicating very well. So I had to kind of tell them, teach them.
What you needed and what would
Yeah.
be helpful to you.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. How did you initiate that?
Usually when I misheard something,
Okay.
and then I just go off on this little tangent.
Talk to me about the tangent you'd go off on.
Basically, I would just say, hey, I'm hearing impaired and I wear a cochlear implant, so I need to see your face. This is a little more comfortable for me. Can you just slow down? And they will ask me, what is the cochlear implant? And I would just tell them, it's implantable hearing device, kind of like a hearing aid, but not really.
Yeah.
It bypasses to the inner ear rather than amplifies the sound. So I just kind of get a little technical sometimes, but I bring it back to more of an emotional,
Yeah.
where I just, this is how I lead my life.
Yeah. So you explain to them what you need, and then what an implant. You have a teaching moment, and then bring it back to what you need from them.
Yeah, correct.
Good plan, Jentry.
Yes.
But I'm curious. Tell me where you're living these days.
I live by myself. I own my own home.
You're a homeowner?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, Jentry. That is awesome.
Yes.
How long have you owned your own home?
Oh my gosh, I think it's going to be 5 years at the end of the summer.
Wow.
Yes. I'm having really a lot of fun just leading that independent life. And I know it's a little scary to be by yourself, but I set up my home to accommodate me.
Tell me what you've done and what all you've done to accommodate it for you.
So, first off, I had to contact the alarm security company to install flashing lights in my bedroom and in my bathroom.
And what are the flashing lights for?
If anyone breaks in.
Okay,
At
so
night.
it's alarmed.
Yeah. Yes.
And then is it also smoke alarms?
Yes.
Okay. Do you use that as your alarm to get up in the mornings?
No, I actually use my Apple Watch.
Okay.
Yes.
A little bit gentler, like
Yes.
a buzz to wake
I
you up.
really like that part.
Yeah.
I also use it because, again, we're in Oklahoma, in the middle of Tornado Alley. I have weather apps that notify me
Okay.
in the middle of the night if there's a tornado.
That's very wise. All right, so you have your career, your job, and you're homeowner, and you're learning how to do things, learning how to navigate things. Where do you think that came from?
It came from her, but it also came from me.
Yeah.
I don't know how old I was. I was young, but I was like 5 or 6. I just went straight up to her and told her, like, the last words of my name spell out the word try. So I'm going to try. And I walked away.
Is that right?
It is true. I was in the kitchen, standing at the sink, and she was learning how to spell her name, and the last 3 letters are TRY, and that was like clear as a bell to her. Well, I'm supposed to try.
Had that ever occurred to you?
No. And that was her then. I mean, that was the goal. I will try. I'm supposed to.
That was your life motto.
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, amazing how that worked out, isn't it? Yeah,
Very amazing.
Because you have a cool name, but then it's super cool with those last 3 letters.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. Well, it's been great catching up with you. You're amazing.
So are you.
I mean, all the things you're doing, and you're all grown up and like navigating life. And I just remember this cute, darling little girl that, was amazing back then, but grew up into this lovely, you're just as beautiful inside as outside. So,
Thank you.
Well, I think it'll make a huge difference for moms who might be watching and listening to your story, that they're going to receive encouragement and inspiration and hope. Yeah. All right. Yes. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you, Teresa.
For more inspiring stories and to learn about what's possible for children with hearing loss, visit hearingfirst.org.